Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, welcome to Morning Amrut Vani program. His Grace Rupavilas Prabhuji will be giving his transcendental words of wisdom. His Grace Ram Kripa Prabhuji will be reading the Namamrita, followed by Srila Prabhupada quote, followed by Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Her Grace Sadhu Sevani Mataji will be reciting the slokas. Welcome to everyone once again. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण बहु दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय। His Holiness गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। His Holiness भक्ति आश्रय वैष्णव स्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Sri Namamrita, the nectar of the holy name. When one is perfect in chanting and hearing, he will always remember Krishna. The more one chants the names of Krishna, the more he becomes attached. Thus, service by Sravana and Kirtana, hearing and chanting about Krishna is the beginning. The next process is Smarana, always remembering Krishna. When one is perfect in chanting and hearing, he will always remember Krishna. In third stage, he becomes the greatest yogi. Krishna consciousness, the matchless gift. Prabhupada quote, 17 July. You are all my limbs of my body. Unless you cooperate, my life will be useless. Letter to Brahmananda, July 17, 1968. Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita. But Abhay remained skeptical. Oh no, I know all these sadhus. He said, I am not going. Abhay had seen many sadhus in his childhood. Every day his father had entertained at least 3 or 4 in his home. Some of them were no more than beggars, and some even smoked ganja. Gaur Mohan had been very liberal in allowing anyone who wore the saffron robes of sannyasi to come. But did he mean that though a man was no more than a beggar or ganja smoker, he had to be considered saintly just because he dressed as a sannyasi or was collecting funds in the name of building a monastery or could influence people with his speech? No, no, by and large, they were disappointing a lot. Abhay had even seen a man in his neighborhood who was a beggar by occupation. In the morning, when others dressed in their work clothes and went to their jobs, this man would put on saffron clothes and go out to beg and in this way earn his livelihood. But was was it fitting that such a so-called sadhu be paid a respectful visit as if he were a guru? Naren argued that he felt that this particular sadhu was a very learned scholar and that Abhay should at least meet him and judge for himself. Abhay wished that Naren would not behave this way, but finally he could no longer refuse his friend. Together they walked past the Parsnath Jain temple to Ulta the Danga with its sign Bhakti Vinod Asana, announcing it to be the quarter of the Gaudiya Math. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Bhagavad Gita 10.40. Nanto asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tu deshata prokto vibhutar visraro maya. Translation. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.10, 18 and 19. भलय सच्चिद्यामानानां शिरोभिश्चारु कुण्डलय उरुभिर्हेम तलाभयर दोर्भिर्वलय वल्गुभिः हारकेयूरमुकुतैर् उष्णिशैश्च महादनैः अस्त्रस्तस्तरानभुवो रेजुर्वीरमनोहरा. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the heads of those who were cut to pieces by the arrows of Dhruv Maharaj were decorated very beautifully with earrings and turbans. The legs of their bodies were as beautiful as golden palm trees. Their arms were decorated with golden bracelets and armlets, and on their heads there were very valuable helmets bedecked with gold. All these ornaments lying on that battlefield were very attractive and could bewilder the mind of a hero. Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 4.130. स्वप्न देखी पुजारी उठी करीला विचार स्नान करी कपाट खुली मुक्त कैला द्वार. Translation. Awaking from the dream, the priest immediately rose from bed and thought wise to take a bath before entering the deity's room. He then opened the temple door. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री राधराज बिहारी भगवान की जय, ललिता सखी विशाखा माता की जय, गिरिराज गोवर्धन महाराज की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, गौरांग निताय महाप्रभु की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, मॉर्निंग चैंटिंग प्रोग्राम की जय, संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. So when one is perfect in chanting and hearing, is always remember Krishna. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So here Prabhupada is clearly saying that we have to perfect ourselves in chanting and hearing. Without aparat, we should be able to chant, and without aparat, attentively hearing. You know about the Dundukari Leela. Dundukari and Gokarna. Gokarna had organized a Bhagavad Katha, and in that Bhagavad Katha, only Gokarna went to Vaikuntha. And then the question was asked, why only he went when we were hearing, all of the entire village was hearing? So the answer that they got, he was attentively hearing with eagerness to go back to spiritual world. So chanting without offense and attentive hearing with the eagerness to go back and understand Krishna, then only we'll be able to remember Krishna always. Hare Krishna. Please go further. Srila Prabhupada humbly is trying to say to all his disciples that if you don't cooperate, my life is useless. Because the mission, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said that this fruit of love has to be passed on from one another. I alone cannot pass it on. So in this moment, each and everybody has a responsibility to preach and pass on the message of our Guru Parampara
so that the entire world can get connected with Krishna. Entire world can go back to the spiritual world where they belong. Entire world can come out of the miseries. It is not possible by one man person. It is possible by the cooperation of everybody. And that's why Srila Prabhupada says, my life will be useless unless and until you do not cooperate. My mission will be useless. This entire Leela, Amrita, only tells about one thing. Brahmande Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. Huh? Means Lord is trying to get the Guru connected with the Shishya through a mediator, Naren. And here, two, three things we can understand how pious father of Srila Prabhupada was. Every day, some or other sadhus used to come at his house and he used to feed them. And he used to tell them, please give the blessings to my child so he can become a devotee of Radharani. He used to always ask that blessings. So, one lesson that we learn whenever somebody comes in a house, we should tell them to bless a child so that they can become devotees. Another thing that we learn is that that time also there were beggars who were running in the form of saffron. And because of that begging thing, the saffron entire conception was totally, uh, you know, destroyed. And people thought that they sadhu bhikari log hai. And that's why that conception was there in the mind of Srila Prabhupada. In Kali Yuga, you will find that this thing always happening. So the sadhu should never ask for money, but sadhu should always give the knowledge and the love. That is the work of a sadhu. Hmm. And how, by Lord's arrangement, Naren takes Srila Prabhupada and helps him to meet his Guru Maharaj. And that is the most auspicious and the fortunate thing that happened. Even today in the Ulta Danda in Calcutta, we have now a Shashwati Mataji every day going and doing seva over there. Uh, they have nicely made a new temple over there. So whenever we go over there in Calcutta, we'll try to visit that place. The first meeting point of Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. Nantosmi Divyanam Vibhutinam cha param tapa etaduddeshtu prokto vibhuti vistarasya maha. There is no end to my divine manifestation. And what I have spoken you is just, a spark of my unlimited opulence. Spark, Lord says, ek ansha. It is just my one part by which I am, spread everywhere. And I occupy everything just by my one part. I occupy the entire manifestation. So Lord's opulence are unlimited. Here we can understand in the Bhagavatam the glories of Dhruv Maharaj, how nicely he is fighting and how nicely as a Kshatriya is trying to defeat the Yakshas. That Vibran we are getting over here. As far as CC is concerned, we can understand that the Pujari is astonished, and to confirm, he's taking first a bath. So whenever you enter in a temple, please take bath properly and enter the temple. Do not touch the things in an ashuddha condition. And then when he is going inside, he will be very much astonished to find out the pot behind the deities of Gopinath, Kheer Chora Gopinath. And then he said that if pot is there, then Madhvendra Puri will also be there. Then he's taking that pot in the mid of the night and trying to find out by shouting loudly, where is Madhvendra Puri? Madhvendra Puri, Madhvendra Puri. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. हरे राम हरे राम।